cake, let it be known. I'm working hard when I ain't on the phone. This ain't a home, this ain't a foe. Grind never stopping, I'm keeping it going.
Okay, we are back with another season weekend recap. And this weekend didn't go exactly how we wanted it. But with every loss, there's a lesson. You feel me? So I will say this at the beginning of this segment. This loss definitely brought our team closer together because we went into a very hostile environment and we was able to battle through a lot of things. I will say this. Those fans really brought their A games to that game. You know, it was so loud. I could barely hear Tua the first play of the game. You know, and that caused a lot of miscommunication on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know about defense, but I know on the offensive side of the ball, their fans made it so hard for us to hear the play call that it was ridiculous, man. And it was sometimes like, you know how like I do like the little motion and like I almost can time it because I can hear the center or I can hear Tua. Like I couldn't even hear those guys or I couldn't even tell like when the ball was snapped at times because that's how loud their fans was. So I just got to say A+ to their fans. Obviously, they weren't the nicest, but, you know, as far as like, you know, being that 12th man, being that 12th defender for their team, they did a great job.
Gotcha. So, you know, I think you pretty much said, you know, I'm the evil one on here. I think sometimes we read the comments and your commentary on how you break down the game and break down the mindset is second to none. I think all the commentators have credited you on that once they interview you. But you know I gotta go troll, bro. Like you remember the Titans, bro? Like when Allen was getting destroyed and Cheryl said, he's beating him like he stole something, coach.
Yeah.
That's all I kept hearing. So I seen the game started, right? And it was back and forth. I'm thinking, oh, it's a gunslinger show. This gonna be a crazy score tonight. Do you think like whatever happened on the defensive end, that kind of, and I know you said the fans and making it hard to hear the play calls. Do you think that whatever was happening on defense, whatever mentality or whatever, I guess, or whatever attitude they was bringing on the field, that energy just carried over to like the small mistakes, anything on offense?
I would say, man, our team has a long way to go, you know, as far as like getting to like where we want to be at. And I think us going into, you know, a very hostile situation once again, you know, is needed for a very young team. You know, it felt like a playoff environment, you know, once we stepped into that stadium, you know, and I've been in situations like that my whole entire career and I feast off stuff like that. So I was ready for the moment. But as far as like, I feel like everybody else, you know, being prepared for, you know, that moment. And it's not like anybody was scared. It was like, hey, I'm gonna try to overcompensate and try to make plays, you know, when I don't got to make plays, you know, and we all find ourselves doing that. You know, I found myself doing that, you know, in a younger version of me back when I was in KC, and I don't got to. You feel me? Like when you got other guys on the field, you know, just as talented as you, or, you know, being coached the same way you're coached, then, you know, just trust the process and everything will like fall into play, you know, like, so that's all the game boils down to, man. Like just trusting each other, you know, playing for your brother, doing your assignment each and every time. And the game will come out exactly how you want it to come out. Now, like I say, they got that 12 man down there, which is the fans. They gonna make it tough. It's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be rowdy. It's gonna be loud, and man, it's gonna be tough, man. So, you just gotta, you know, do what you're coached to do.
Now, earlier you said that this loss brought y'all closer. I know on a previous show we talked about the camaraderie and how everything is good when you're winning, but what happens whenever you're down and you're losing? Everybody's pointing the finger. Like, how did that bring y'all close in that moment?
Well, for me, man, I'm one of those guys that win or lose, you know, I'm gonna have the same attitude regardless of, you know, the situation, man, because Obviously, I'm fortunate enough to play this great game that I love, and God has blessed me. But the losses bring us closer together because now we finally get a chance to fine tune the small things that we need to correct, that we didn't correct during the wins. You feel me? So now, hey, Reek, instead of running this 3-step slant like a regular slant, how about you clean it up and turn it into like a 5-step slant? Or hey, Jalen, on this particular play, we want you to block the corner and not the nickel and stuff like that. So it's just finding like small things that we can get better at. And obviously it's gonna be tough, man, because this is a grown man sport, man, and nobody likes to be called out. Nobody likes to be, told, hey, like you're supposed to do this in front of a whole team, man. But at the end of the day, you just gotta have tough skin, and I feel like we got a great enough team to be able to handle these situations, and nobody wants to get called out on anything, man. So we are moving in the right direction. We watched film today. Everything's moving great in the right direction so far.
And it's something that you always stated since KC. You always used to say, adversity creates opportunity.
Man, look.
You know what I mean?
And look, adversity will always create opportunity, man, because at the end of the day, it's going to be more opportunities for everybody. You feel me? Obviously, I will say this before, we get off the Buffalo Bills. Prayers up to Trey White.
For sure.
I seen that he tore his Achilles. We never want anybody to get hurt, especially like one of the top guys in this league, man. So prayers up to him. I know I heard he was a phenomenal guy, very humble guy, hardworking guy. So prayers up to him, man. And yeah, but back to the adversity creates opportunity thing. I just feel like it just speaks for itself, man. Like we at the point of the season now. Everybody's year 2 in the system. Like everybody has to believe in whatever coach is trying to put inside of our minds. You feel me? So we just got to get it, man.
Oh, there's no doubt. Y'all got something cooking down there, man. Like you said, adversity creates opportunity. It's something to learn from. But you got fans wondering. I got like 300 messages. Is his knee okay? That's the first thing they went to. He grimaced. He grabbed his knee. Is everything okay?
You know what's crazy? So about that play, man, like I've been taught my whole entire life, man, like no matter what kind of energy you got, you always finish off the field. So when I broke my collarbone back in 2019, man, like I ran off the field. Like I somehow managed to run off the field. Like when like you rarely see a lot of players do that. And it's like, bro, like my parents always told me, finish off the field. So I broke my collarbone in 2019. Coach Reed came up to me. He was like, you ready for the next play? I'm like, Coach, like, I think something wrong with me. Like he's still thinking I'm still ready to play because I ran off the field. And it's like, I'm grimacing in pain right now. Like I'm hurting, Coach. Like come to find out I broke my collarbone, was out 6 weeks. Now with the knee thing, I had took a knee, number 7. He had his helmet had hit me in the knee, and bro, talk about the amount of pain that I felt. And I just laid there for a minute. I was just like, God, man, like I'm just finna run off. Don't let me limp. Don't let me look weak. Don't let me do nothing, man. So I got up, ran off the field, and I was hurting, and I'm still, feel me? I'm still going through a little something, but I'll be all right. But I finished off the field. That's the mindset. I always finish off the field. And I told myself, man, I can't go back in, man. My knee hurting. You feel me? And I don't want to put no more pressure on it. You feel me? So, but I'll be good though. You feel me? Like the way I operate, the way I take care of my body, I'll be back in no time. I'm like Wolverine. I'm like Logan, baby. I never get injured.
Here you go. Nah, that's dope though, because I know you, and you rarely show. That's how I know the football field. That's your safe space, right? That's where you can be vulnerable at. Like, well, I don't play basketball with some everything, right? You won't show no emotion other than just, hey, do this.
Oh
But if
yeah,
something happens, you just kind of, keep it pushing. So when I see you grimacing, I'm like, yeah, you hardly ever show any type of vulnerability. But then when you on that field, like, you let it all hang out. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like
Man,
even
look,
when players come to
I,
Miami and they come train with you, I think we talked
yeah,
about that. Like on that field, you get vulnerable and you take to people. So uh, if you take to them and you in your sanctuary and you think they hard working, you're gonna work with them. If not, you see they just bull crapping out there. It's kind of like, nah, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing over here. When they, hey, how to do this? Hey, man, you ain't really invested. So that's just dope to see the transition from, oh, this dude cold blooded. Then it's like, oh, yeah, that's the sanctuary. He can be vulnerable on that. So I just find that's dope. That's a dope. It's dope to be able to see that play out. You know what I mean?
that's just the way I've always been taught, man. My granddad always taught me that, man. He always told me, dog, like people don't really love you like for you, man, in this sport. Like they only love like what you can do. You feel me? Like you real special. Never show your feelings in this sport. You feel me? And really the only time I show my feelings is with my kids or with my loved ones, obviously. But when I'm on this field, like I respect you, but it's like why why would I get in my feelings if something happened, ever to me? You feel me? Like
Hmm.
I'm just another
Hmm.
body at the end of the day. Like I can be replaced at any moment. Well, that's
Hmm.
their mindset, but in my mind, I really can't be replaced because I'm the cheetah. You feel me? But
There you go.
but in their mind, I can be replaced. But I mean, I just read my dad always taught me. So
Good deal. Good deal.
I do want to move on. I do want to talk about the Rodney Harrison comments after the game. A lot of people. I mean, a lot of former players. We see this a lot. A lot of former players. They be having bad stuff to say about players, current players now. And my question is, why though? Like, how hard it is to be a player, A, and how B, the media is already against us. So why would you C jump on that bandwagon and make it even harder? Like, we get it, bro. Like, you just want something to go viral on Twitter for a week or a day or two. We get that. But at the end of the day, you gotta have some kind of, you know, I don't know, brain to think and just say, hey man, like I'm a current player. I understand. And I'm not gonna set up another player who is Chris Jones at the moment to say those kind of things. Like, what do you take from that? Like, why do you think people do stuff like that?
I think it goes beyond the job description. You know what I mean? In some situations, I think it's just more of a job description.
Right.
But I think a lot of the times it's a character issue. You know what I'm saying? I come on here, I'm say, oh, this team trash. But I mean, those guys, some of the most elite athletes in the world, they made it to the NFL. So when I say trash, I mean like, oh, I think my team is better. Not that this person is really trash,
Right.
but I think it's a situation that goes beyond it. I say that because I learned this lesson from this attorney. Like he'll never badmouth another attorney. You know what I mean? Which is absolutely amazing. But you see it happen so often. I think it's a character issue, right?
Right.
I think it's a situation where that career may not have gone a certain way, or they trying to get job security by being a Stephen A. and being a controversial persona on TV, which we know now the world that we live in, the social media influence is heavily influenced off social media and heavily influenced off, we can say it, the culture, right? If they're controversial, they cause headlines, they go viral. That's the new thing. And I think people look at it on the surface, on the face of what's going on, but I think you have to look at the character of the person. I think in that moment, you got to look at the character because he's a former player. Like you said, he knows how hard it
He's
is,
a
right?
GOAT though. Rodney Harrison is a GOAT.
True, true. But that might be another reasoning behind it because his meter is probably up here because he did so well,
Right.
right?
Right.
But then you got to look at it like I can't remember the coach name that said this is a kid. I'm a grown man. I mean, at the end of the day, he's a kid who just now transitioned into this man role, leading this franchise, being the franchise quarterback or whatever you want to call him, the quarterback of this team. But to call him garbage
Yeah, that was a low
on
blow.
that
That was a
level,
low blow.
yeah, that's a low blow. And I think it's a character issue, man. I don't think it got nothing to do with him trying to solidify his spot. He's already on TV. I think it's a character issue and like you just don't know that individual. You don't know what that comment is going to do to him. And I think people got to be cautious of that, man.
Man,
What you make of it?
it was just crazy. Like when I heard it and I seen it, and I'm glad that my boy Chris Jones avoided it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something that you don't do, man. I don't care if you aren't a player at all, man. Like you say, being a franchise quarterback is tough, dog. It's gotta, man, like it's so many pressures that like as me, like I know I'm one of the highest paid receivers in the league, but my job is easy. Like I don't gotta stay in the work late. I don't gotta read defenses. I don't got 6'8" dudes rushing at me trying to sack me every play. I don't got that. My life, all I gotta do is just avoid the DB in front of me. You feel me? And so for him to say something like that is crazy. Now I will say this though. I love Zach Wilson. I love the way he plays. I love the growth and the steps he has taken to get better. And like I said, him having Aaron Rodgers there will help him continue to get better. I know that before I signed to Miami, me and him chopped it up a little bit. He was like, Reek, you should come to New York. And I'm like, hey, bro, who knows? You feel me? I could come to New York. So, man, I love Zach, man. He seems, I talked to him on the phone. Real humble dude, real hardworking dude, loves ball because I've been around quarterbacks who don't love ball at all. Like I done seen quarterbacks in the club partying, like doing their thing. I'm not gonna say no names, but this guy Zach Wilson loves football, man. And for people to sit around and give him shit about the sport that he loves to play is just absolutely ridiculous, man. So Zach Wilson, keep balling, keep doing your thing, man. I know it's all gonna turn, and trust me, your NFL brothers got your back no matter what, man. No matter what people say about you, we got your back, brother.
Hey, look, man, like you said, y'all got his back, and and that's why I say you got to go to the character issue, because you try to bait another player into downing a current player. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I get it. Trash talking happens, but I think Chris Jones is a classy dude, as we already know. Still showed up to the game. He's not going to fall for that bait. And like you said, this kid, he's coming into a franchise behind a Hall of Famer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And he got big shoes to fill. Just like even when I said Matt Jones, it still goes to Brady lurking around. You know what I mean? And I don't think it's a place for that. Criticize, but don't beat the person down. You can give constructive criticism without coming off as a hater, bro. I say it, just coming off as a straight up hater to say the man garbage. His numbers are looking good. They just ain't pull out the win. So I don't know what garbage man you talking about, but it
was a lot of
pretty good to me.
It was a lot of things, man. Mr. Harrison said about him, and I had a chance to interview with Mr. Harrison. Seemed like a genuine guy, nice guy. I liked him when I met him, but he was saying some crazy things like, Zach Wilson was missing throws in pregame and stuff like that, missing his receivers horribly. I was like, bro,
what time out? He judges man off pre-work or working out.
Bro, I done seen quarterbacks miss all kind of throws and nobody had a word to say about it. So I guess it's just all about who the person is and, what's going on with that quarterback at the moment, man. So
some quarterbacks just straight up miss you and they say, oh, well, it was a bad route ran by the receiver. Nah, bro. Like, call it what it is. We know what you're saying. Yeah, we get it. Do your job, though. You get paid to do it. Our bad, bro. It's on you.
It's crazy. But before we get off here,
now your former team, your former home.
Yeah, yep. But the last thing, I will say this: I think that the Chiefs and Jets, that last penalty called on Sauce Gardner was a 50-50. That's all I'm gonna say. It was a rough one. Now I saw the interview that Pat did. He was like, Sauce was grabbing him at 15 yards. Then I seen what Sauce said. I only grabbed him at 7. The receiver ran into me. It was a 50-50. When the game on the line, you gotta let the players play. It's a good game. Because the Chiefs, they got saved like that last year for real though, and the Eagles in the Super Bowl for real though. If we been for real, then they come back and get saved in the Jets game. Man, maybe because Taylor Swift was in the building. I don't know what's going on, but whatever Kel's doing, I know you're helping out the NFL, but hey, Kel, that's all I gotta say. You gotta come on, Kel. You gotta come on the podcast and say something. It needed to be said. Like,
I got a question.
I don't know
So
what's going on.
I'm a lawyer. I like to listen to words. So you say it was 50-50, right? But then you said they got saved. If it's 50-50, did they really get saved? Or was it that was just a potentially y'all don't get fined for saying this stuff to you by the ref.
Man,
It
look,
wasn't it was a bad call. It was like you said, man, it's at the end of the game, if it's something just open and blatant, you know what I'm saying, to the point where it's indisputable that XYZ happened. You just gotta let them play, man. Like that I don't think the game should be decided. Obviously, there's other stuff that transpired during the game, and the Chiefs still had to execute. But in that moment, that would have sealed it. That was a pick, bro.
oh
Like
yeah, yep,
you don't get that back.
yep. There used to be a rule where like you could challenge a defensive pass interference. There used to be a rule, like I believe 2 years ago, and they took that rule away. I don't know why they took it away, but they used to have that rule where, like, if there was a pass interference, the other coach could challenge it, and they could wipe it off if it was almost like a challenge play. I think they should definitely
Right.
bring that back, man, because bring that back, and once it's a pass interference, just add the receiving yards to my yardage.
They look, dude. I'm that rule has to come back because if you remember in the NBA, they had the whole referee Donahue dude.
Yeah,
Like I ain't saying that could potentially go on, but it's so much room for that to happen when a game is decided like that,
man,
right?
it's crazy, man. It's crazy how these games are decided, man, and I know it's a lot at stake for people like gambling and
hmm
betting, and
hmm
as a player, like we got our livelihoods on the line for this, and it's like, bro, like don't ruin it for me, please. I'm begging you, don't ruin it.
Right.
Now, obviously, like you got some crews who are known for like certain things, like whether this crew may call defensive holding more than this crew, or this crew may crawl
Right.
off sides more than this crew, or so each referee crew is different, so you got to know who you're dealing with, and our coaches, they do a great job of telling us, like, hey, you got such and one, this crew here like to
Mm.
throw flags on defensive pass interference or offensive pass interference, so you just got
So,
to know who you're dealing with.
so do you think this was a situation of give the benefit of the doubt to the franchise, not the receiver, but
Hey,
it
NFL,
happens.
I answer that in 2031 when I'm done playing. But until then, I'm not saying nothing. I'm not getting fined by no NFL. I need all my money in my pocket, man. I done said enough
All of the
already.
cash.
I didn't say it enough, man. Cause hey, the way they be rolling, it's crazy.
Bro, crazy. All right, so we got upcoming week prediction.
Yep. Upcoming week we play against the New York Giants. It's gonna be a real good
hmm
game. I I don't think Saquon is gonna play, so defensively, we match up real well against them. Danny Dimes, obviously, which is one of my favorite
hmm
quarterbacks. Love Danny Dimes. They have a great group of young wide receivers: Isaiah Hodgins, Jalen Hyatt, Paris Campbell. So they got some talent over there now. They got some talent,
Yeah.
and on the defensive side of the ball, they got some big dudes on their defensive line. So our O line really
hmm
got to bring it this week. It's got to be a mindset game. Every game is won in the trenches. So O line got to bring it. They got a real good secondary. Adoree Jackson, obviously. They got a rookie over there that's real good. They got a Xavier McKinney. So they got a real good team. The Giants got a real good team. They just haven't found a way to put it all together. And I just don't want them to find a way to put it together against us, because they got a real special team. They got a real good team. They got a real good team. I just don't want them to put it together against us. So
So y'all do it another day, Giants.
man, just do it another day. And obviously, our key component is the heat. Our 12th man is the heat, unlike the Bills. Their 12th man is their fans. Our 12th man is the heat component. So, man, it's going to be a good game.
Can the Dolphins fans, nation, will they expect to win or should they expect to win? Should they expect Mike McDubby to put it together for the Dolphins, for you, Tua, everybody to bounce back from the last game versus the Bills?
Oh yeah, each and
Because
every
y'all make the adjustments.
each and every week, like the mindset should be to win. Like that doesn't matter who we play. Each and every week, the mindset is to win because we are prepared that way. You know, each and every week, the way we practice, you know, our mindsets, our focus to details, to everything that we do during the week, you know, so we are prepared, you know, to the T. So, man, get ready for a bounce back and, you know, big weeks from the receiving core, obviously. Bounce back week from really everybody because last week sucked. I'm going to tell you that now. It sucked.
Last week sucked.
Last week
Good.
sucked,
You
man.
good,
But I will say this though before we end: do not overreact. Dolphin fans, don't overreact. Just take this one to the chin. I know it's gonna hurt to get trolled by Bills Mafia. It's gonna hurt, but you know we'll see those guys again. You know, and like I said in the interview, hopefully it's for the AFC East. You know, and we'll see who get the last laugh. You never get crowned in week 4 as Super Bowl champions. Remember that.
Ooh.
It's a long journey, baby.
Ooh.
It's a long journey. We just put up 70 in week 3, and we didn't crown ourselves. So we steady moving. Each and every week is about getting better. They beat us in week 4 because we beat them in week 5 last year, I think. Then they came back and beat us 2 times. One time at the end of the year, and then they kicked us out the playoffs. So you never get crowned, man. It's all about that journey, baby.
There you go.
There you go.